You know that quote, a delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad? Well, some games are just forever bad, no matter what. There's some games that just should not be released. Some games should be confined to the sixth circle of hell, never to see the light of day, and one of them is The Day Before. Now, this is a video game that was announced 2 years ago with this trailer that looked pretty good. It's a pretty game. It had nice lighting, it was a zombie game, it had survival elements, it of course had a little bit of combat, it had very, very pretty areas, fleshed out buildings, except it was all a lie. This was a controversy for a long, long time. It was delayed 3 times and was eventually found out to just be copying other people's marketing materials, basically bar for bar. But the worst part is they just wouldn't reveal any gameplay from the actual game after this initial 2-year-ago trailer. Not a peep, not a sound was heard from these developers. But now the game has been released. Finally, we get to see what it's like. And one brave individual from GameRanks has delved into the depths of The Day Before to show us exactly what it's like. How great is this video game, I wonder?
And this is not one of them. Like, there's no getting around it. This game is a mess. There's endless bugs. The servers are totally broken. The gameplay is anemic, and it's missing basic features that you would expect out of a multiplayer game.
Now, I never like it when a game comes out and it's not good. I love video games. I want video games to be good. I want every video game to be a 10 out of 10. Wouldn't that be so nice if we just lived in a world of 10 out of 10s? But sometimes, when the developers do bad things, you just have to take in the catharsis of they've released something really bad. Why is it so bad?
Talk about what the game is. Let's clarify what it is not. The Steam page describes the game as a post-apocalyptic, open-world MMO survival game, but it is really just an extraction shooter. That's it. That's all the game is. If you couldn't tell from gameplay, that's what it is.
Okay, so it's basically something like Call of Duty Zombies. It's maybe your Apex Legends, where you're fighting NPCs, not real player characters. But you can probably also fight I imagine you can fight player characters. That's got to be a feature in this.
With a store and some storage, you go out and
get beams,
city, collect loot,
pretty
find
good.
Other players. Sometimes there's 1 or 2 zombies around, which are basically harmless 90% of the time.
They actually managed to program in multiple zombies into the video game, so we're starting pretty well here.
It's just a PvP game. There's nothing here that's MMO-like at all. The only survival elements, might I add, are that you can...
What was the delay on the shot there? Hold on, can I just see that again?
At all. The only survival...
Did the bullet travel at like a few feet every 5 seconds?
Might I add, are that you can eat food, which is something that, yes, you do have to do to survive in real life.
Nice. So you can eat beans, you get batteries.
I'm going to say that doesn't make a sim, and even it doesn't really even matter in this game. So...
Is this one of those games where you get hungry every 30 minutes?
The game is simply not what they've been advertising it as for years. There aren't any immersive elements whatsoever.
No, I don't think that they would just lie. Video game developers wouldn't just lie about the things that are in the video. No, that can't be right.
If you like extraction shooters, that could sound like good news. But even with that in mind, in the current state, the game is not possible to recommend.
Okay, well, I mean, let's imagine I'm a big extraction shooter fan. I love extracting. Getting on a helicopter or getting in a car and shooting. Man, I love that's my jam. Let's go into this with that kind of mindset.
Doesn't matter how much you like extraction shooters.
Okay, well, that's just maybe.
Day one experience was a damn disaster. This game had no beta, no test phase, so I anticipated the first few hours would probably be a mess of server issues, and chalk it up as another time I've been correct about something. I'm not.
Well, these things are growing pains for new developers, right?
This one was like incredible prescience, though. Like, that's a pretty normal expectation for something with no beta or test phase at all. And I'll say this, like, I was able to start the game in the first few minutes, but the graphics settings were all messed up, and I had to reset it. And then I spent about an hour staring at the server screen.
But look, all of these servers, they're all full, which means it has a thriving player base of incredibly passionate fans.
Frustrated, tried to join a server. I mean, it took forever, and then I was finally blessed by a game and got in, only to find my character falling through an infinite void. So there's issues. The only solution was to delete that character and try again, which meant another half-hour clicking hopelessly on, allegedly open servers until I really finally genuinely got into the game, like
Right, but-
was able to use it. And
When you got into the game, this is when things
what's
kick
my
off.
reward for all this frustration? Well, the opening cutscene bugged out, and for a while I was trapped in the starting room. Not a great first impression. And then what follows is a really slow tutorial where the game attempts some lame world building. There's no other word to better
it's Chris.
describe it than that. There's just bland nobody characters that you're not going to care about.
I mean, to be fair, his trim is on point. It is fantastic.
Understand why we couldn't just have a menu like
And Mike.
Tarkov with this crap. All the running around back and forth between vendors is tedious and not particularly useful. You're constantly stopping my storage, so why does the game force you to click through a conversation?
Look, it's Abby. It's The Last of Us. I didn't think they'd have any references to The Last of
Why is
Us.
storage the second option? Why is it not the first option? I know that sounds like a minor complaint, but it's one of those things that most games have figured out. Like, it's just standardized and easy to know what's wrong. Like, the day before is full of these kinds of amateur mistakes. During the tutorial, where the game introduces another mechanic, the homestead. And by the way, this is probably the last time you're going to go there. It's completely pointless in the current state.
Oh, okay,
but it's this
cool.
place you can build a house and place furniture around.
Wait, in the post-apocalypse, you can just get a leather sofa. You can just build one. I can just build a leather sofa because I'm a master craftsman and I can build chairs just out of nothing. I'm Minecraft, but in real life.
And that's all you can do. There's nothing else you can do. That's it. It's just a money sink. You buy things when you run out of stuff to buy for your character, and you put it there. And by the way, you're going to run out of stuff to buy your character pretty quick. There aren't a lot of guns.
Well, I mean, I can build an old side table, get my IKEA skills in. You know, I recently built a sideboard for my living room all by myself. It was big and it was burly, but I got it done after I put it together the wrong way and had to take the entire thing apart and do it again. But I did it eventually.
Pretty easy to find. Yeah, talk to.
So those skills going to apply into this game. I'm looking forward to it.
Shamelessly named Woodbury, you know, like the town from The Walking Dead. And the game finally lets you travel to New Fortune City, the open world map where all the extracting and shooting takes place. For all the game's faults, I will say the city, while hardly MMO-sized, is pretty good looking.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look as good as the trailer. The lighting is a bit off, but I mean, we've got the real news. We've got the ukulele center, which hopefully if you can go into the ukulele center, maybe get a ukulele, think about it.
Points of interest to explore. They're fairly varied. They're complex. And it can sometimes look downright beautiful with all the settings cranked up. In isolation, the city looks great. Unfortunately, performance
it's a little ugly.
Are a constant problem. I experienced a lot of stuttering, a lot of slowdown, even though the game itself isn't actually all that system intensive. I think most of the performance issues, though, probably are because of the servers. I can't say that for certain, and I'm sure somebody more technically inclined will be able to explain it within the next few days.
Well, I mean, it's okay. It's not like they're charging for this. I mean, free-to-play games are pretty. It's £33.50. I'm sure that's fine. After 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears, we can finally say these words. The Day Before is out now. Wow, they must be exciting. Revelations from Fantastic ahead of The Day Before's release. To a future player who will dive into the game. We made this for you so that you will enjoy the game and it will become a celebration. Together, we'll continue improving it. To the people who didn't believe in this, we made this game for you too. We accept any kind of criticism and don't hold a grudge against you. Oh my god. Please forgive us for not doing the best marketing. Don't accuse us of scamming. That is not true. That is true. They didn't steal money from anyone. That is true. Don't underestimate our work. It wasn't easy. We are like you. We worked hard, and we're very happy that our game will finally see the light of day for everyone to explore. Okay, I believe that they worked very hard on this. I believe that game development is not an easy thing. I believe it took a long time to make this city. I believe that they released the game.
But either way, there was a distracting amount of slowdown that just shouldn't be in the game at all. Like, it's one thing when a game is incredible, it's got tons of stuff going on, and it's really successful to the point where the developers didn't expect it and they're having to play catch-up. It's understandable when that type of a thing has this kind of slowdown. It doesn't make it good, and they do have to fix it, but this is not even that kind of thing. So I'm wandering around.
Is there anything to get?
Wandering around, and you might be.
What is the purpose of this? Why is there a massive blanket on a huge tower over there? How did that blanket even get there? That's a really big blanket. You'd have to drop the blanket from like a helicopter. Is it under construction? Is that why there's a big blanket over it? Is that normal? It's a really big blanket.
Noticing a small problem. The problem that I indicated in
Is there any
our
gameplay?
big new games of the month list. I don't really know what's going on. There's just not anything here. Look at this. There's barely anything going on. There's nothing here. You can spend the vast amount of time running around Fortune City and never see another player or even a zombie, which, by the way, this is a zombie apocalypse we're talking about.
Well, developers can't be expected to play their games before they release it. They worked hard making it first. Playing it would just take so much more time. Developers only have so much time. They have to make dinner.
Generally, the thing that causes the apocalypse is pretty plentiful in that type of a setting, but no, the actual zombie population is very, very small. And when you do run into one, they ain't impressive. Zombies
Here we go, baby.
appear in small numbers. They get stuck in the environment easily, and they're just not a threat. As long as you're moving.
No. It's baiting you into a false sense of security so that you'll walk past it, and that's when it gets you. That's when it gets a nice little bite out of your neck. Delicious.
They can't hurt you most of the time. Sometimes, for seemingly no reason, they do hurt you, but most of the time.
Hey, here we go. Dude, there's 3. They programmed 3. We need to give this. What's it rated on Steam right now? It's a 2 out of 10 on Steam. It needs to at least be a 3 out of 10 because they got 3 zombies, so 3 stars.
Jog is all you need to outsmart them. They'll chase you forever, and they'll never actually hit you. At least until you find another one, and the first one just despawns right in front of you because that happens.
Those zombies are running like how it feels to run inside of a dream when you're trying to run fast, but it feels like you're running through tar and you run really slowly. That's how those zombies look like they're running. It looks like they're inside of a dream. So maybe this game is a little bit more complex than we originally expected. Maybe it's some kind of dream sequence. Maybe the town that you're in is merely a figment of a zombie's imagination. And that is the twist of the game. I'm sorry if I spoiled it.
This is where I got to fire off a few shots for the first time, and man, this may be one of the most unsatisfying shooters I have ever played. Well, no, I shouldn't say that, because I've played, like, failure, no-budget asset.
The delay on the reaction is so funny.
This is not that. This is build.
He goes, bam! Wait. Ah!
Is like a AAA experience. But there's no feedback to anything you do. From firing a gun to hitting a zombie, it's just floaty and slow and crappy. It takes seconds for a zombie to actually react to getting shot, which sounds like, oh, that's fast. No, it is not fast. The time between getting shot and reacting should be none. That's how bullets work. And when it does, it just kind of flaps over. Look at this.
I hope the developers are taking notes on how bullets work.
Emphasize enough how bad the shooting feels in this game. It's slow. It feels desynchronized. It's really unbelievable. Like, look at this stuff. This is how shooting looks like and feels in this game. The zombies might as well not exist, and other players are even more rare. Even when playing on a full server, for most of the time with the game, I actually managed to see, and I'm not kidding with you, one other player. One. But
you did find one
other guy I ever saw. Every other encounter with another player, and I say that because you don't actually have to see another player in order
the gunshots.
Get shot randomly and have no idea where they are or where their shot came from.
Who the fuck bought this game? Seriously, if you're not a streamer or a content creator that's just gonna dunk on it, who's spending their hard-earned money? Oh, Steam has refunds. If you play for less than 2 hours, you can refund the game for free.
That's all of my other encounters with players. And even that was fairly rare. I could play the game for an hour of just wandering around, not getting a whiff of another player. So getting headshot
it's about the ambiance.
Nowhere, it's almost a relief when there's another person in this world. I am not alone. Wow. This is an extraction shooter, of course, so standard rules apply. Anything you've got on you when you die, it's gone. That alone isn't a problem. It's a staple of these games for a reason. But there's the potential for real tension when you know all the weapons and kit that you worked hard to get could be lost at any second. But the fundamental flaws of this game get in the way of that tension and thus any fun that could potentially be had. This is the most basic, but there's a reason most of these hardcore extraction shooters are first person rather than third person. With third person, it makes it way too
kind of peek around the corners.
A hiding spot where nobody could ever possibly see you and wait around with perfect oversight. Really,
well, potentially they have eyes not only in the back of their heads, but above their heads as well, so they can peek over the fences. it would make a lot of sense. Now, this game is certainly a video game, and I think we can all agree that this game was released, and we can all agree once again that this game costs money, and that is a staple of the industry. I just spent the last 15 seconds saying absolutely nothing, and if you play this game, you'll probably spend at least a few hours doing nothing of value. So please don't waste your money on that game. Please go and subscribe to Gameranx because they make very funny videos dunking on very bad video games. And also use code patterrz at GamerSubs. You're looking for some Christmas presents? Get the gift of delicious caffeine or caffeine-free beverages with international shipping and less than $1 per serving. Oh my goodness, use code patterrz at GamerSubs. You can do it right now.